Hi, this is Sarah. Today I'm going to show you how to add some shadows to your colouring pages just using coloured pencils. I've got some Faber-Castell polychromos for this one. And I'm using a template here that's actually a free printable that you can get from my website, just being a January calendar, or you can actually buy the full calendar for the whole year as well. So let's get started. You can see in the picture I've already started a very slight amount of shading just around the J here. And the way I'm doing this is I'm just using my black pencil. And I start by just doing a slightly, almost like a little outline, a slightly darker line just around the area that I want to emphasize. And then just shade it very lightly so that you get lighter as you go out each direction. Now it's up to you how heavy you want to make your shadow. I'd recommend starting light and then adding our colours, and we can always make it a bit darker later. Now this particular shadow, you can work out your light source and work out your different directions. I'm actually going for a shadow that's just straight down, so I'm using this to produce a bit of a 3D effect on my text here. Whereas in some pictures you may want to choose an actual light source and create a drop shadow, but we'll cover that in another video at another time. Now you can actually do this after you've added the colours if you prefer. That way you can see how dark it's going to end up in the final result. I'm just doing it beforehand because I find that it's a lot easier to see what you're working on when you've just got the white behind it rather than working on your heavy colours. But we can always add more once the colours have been added too. And the real key with this is to have a really light touch. I'm probably even going a little bit too hard because the lighter you go, the more control you have. You can already see even without the colour underneath, we're starting to get quite a nice 3D effect happening here. Now if you're wanting a drop shadow, you could actually just stop there and just do it on the lower end. I'm going to put a bit of a smaller shadow, not quite as heavy on the top, just because I'm wanting it to be more of a general shadow like we said earlier. Now just to show you before we do our coloured background here, I've got a section here that I've already started colouring, and I'll show you just what happens when you do colour over the top rather than doing it underneath. You can get the same result, but if you've coloured your colours quite heavily, you may not have much room for the paper to absorb the black. So you can see it's a bit harder to achieve the same effect, but it's still possible. It's a very good way to give your patterns in particular some depth to create a bit of a 3D effect. There you go, you can see a very slight 3D effect started on the sides here. I don't have any particular rule when choosing which sections to colour. I just sort of think of these patterns in as objects. So if you were to cut them out of paper, which sections would I cut out? So there's really no wrong or right way to do it. You could actually make every section 3D and have it really crazy. Or you could just pick a couple of spots that you really want to highlight. You could even just do the text in an example like this one. Alright, I might stop there and we'll go back and add some colours now. And we're done. And you can see in the final result how the shadows have created a very cool 3D effect, and it actually really brings a bit of depth to a plain pattern and makes the words stand out a bit as well. So I'm pretty happy with how this has turned out, and I hope that you find success when you do it as well. So thanks for joining me today.
And don't forget, you can download this January printable from my website for free at www.sarahreneeclark.com. You can also check out my full year calendar while you're there, so there's a page for every month. And if this is your first time watching, please subscribe to my channel. That way you can check out some of my other colouring tutorials and you'll be the first to see when I post new ones. Thank you for joining me today and good luck.